So, Sharon, thank you so much for being with us today. I can't wait to talk with you and just appreciate all the things you do for the Rose.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
So how long have you been a part of the shrimp boil?
I think the first shrimp boil I attended was in 1998.
Oh, my gosh. You're
Yes.
really one of our oldies.
Yes.
Oh.
And at that shrimp boil, I won the liquor basket.
Oh.
So that was a good first time for me.
Yes.
And I was introduced to the shrimp boil by Judy Perea.
Uh-huh.
So I had known her for a couple years, and she had told me, Sharon, why don't you come to the shrimp boil? And it's like, I think I will. And so I went, and so I had a good time.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Where were we then?
At the
Kyle.
place over on the Annex, the Pasadena Annex.
Yeah. Before we moved to the
Yes,
Pasadena
yes,
Convention
yes.
Center, yeah. So how many years before we roped you into being a volunteer?
I think 2 years.
Okay.
Then Marnie was in charge of the desserts.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been making cakes for various people, for family, friends. Even when I was working, some people at work wanted cakes or whatever, so I'd make those. And then, so I thought, well, let me make a couple cakes and see how it goes. And so at that time, the committee was just selling the dollar slices. All the cakes were sliced up. And I told Marnie, I said, why don't I make a couple cakes and try to sell them whole? And she said, okay. And so I remember I had made 3 cakes, and one was a strawberry cake. We hadn't even opened yet. And there were some electricians there doing some work. And one of them saw the strawberry cake, and he bought it.
Oh, my. We hadn't
So he
even
was the
opened.
first customer to buy a
my
whole
God.
cake.
Oh, good
And then
story.
so after Marnie moved away, she asked me, well, would you want to be in charge of the desserts? And I was like, ooh. It's like, okay, I will. And so I have been ever since.
Oh, that's a long time, too.
Yes.
Yes. When you do the dessert table, is that what we call it, dessert table? And we don't call it cake or pie or
Dessert.
anything. How do you decide which cake is sold whole and which ones do you slice?
Okay, the ones that are sliced, some people bring cakes just in a pan that maybe they want back, and we slice those. Or some people might even buy a store-bought cake, and so we slice those. And those are good dollar slices.
Right.
And some of it just depends on the need. If there's a lot of people buying the sliced cakes, then we might take something that we would normally sell whole and put over there. But if something is like a layer cake and it's really pretty and everything, of course we're going to sell it whole.
Of course we are. Do you remember what the bid was for the one that was the most ever?
I can't.
It was $2,500.
$2,500.
It was that beautiful cake. I'm not even sure how it got in the live auction, but it did. And $2,500
Yes,
for a
yes.
cake. Oh, my gosh, that was amazing.
Yes.
How many volunteers do you have at the table?
It varies. We usually have 5 or 6.
You're cutting and wrapping and
Cutting, wrapping,
arranging.
and then you got people down on the dollar side. And we got a lot of customers, since we have so many tables, they just come here and there and all along. So we need somebody to kind of be there for them.
Right, right. Now, you are also a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
And did you come to the Rose?
No. I first had breast cancer in the year 2000, and I was 46, so that was young from what
Yes.
I've heard. And I had insurance. I was working at HL&P at the time, so I had insurance. And, of course, I had a mastectomy on one breast, and then chemotherapy, surgery. I was told that I had the breast cancer gene. So I really, actually, I had my ovaries taken out after that because they say that the same gene that causes breast cancer also causes ovarian cancer. And I knew to kind of be on the watch out for my right breast because, you know, it could come at any time. And so, sure enough, in 2017, then I was diagnosed with breast cancer again. And I did have insurance too at that time, but I did come to the Rose because I was familiar with here. So I came here, I was diagnosed with the breast cancer, and then I was referred to a surgeon at MD Anderson. And thankfully, I caught it in time. Same with the other one, I caught in time. And I didn't need chemo or radiation, but I did have a mastectomy. So I had a choice if I wanted the mastectomy or the chemo radiation. And it's like an easy choice for me.
Right, yeah.
So everything's good.
Well, that is terrific.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
yeah, you caught it early.
Yes.
You continued to have your mammograms.
I don't need mammograms
But
anymore.
I mean, before you
Oh,
were,
yes,
yeah,
yes. Oh, definitely. Because I knew at any point I could have another instance.
Right.
And they told me it wasn't related to the other one. Just because I had the gene, it was just a second. It was just a single occurrence for a second time.
And that often happens. I mean, it's very hard to understand. How can this not be the same? But there's so many different varieties of breast cancer,
Right.
you know, so that that can be very confusing, but it's also great that you were keeping up with it and on top of it. You know, that is what our uninsured women don't always have the luxury of doing.
Right.
You know, they know they might need a mammogram, but there's too many other things that get in the way of that. So, and the funds for the shrimp boil go to that program. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
this is the one, well, all of our special events do, but boy, this event, you can see people in the room that have been our patients.
Right,
You can, yeah.
right.
And some have been helped and some came to us to help other women. So that is one of the big parts of the shrimp boil. How would you describe the shrimp boil? What happens when people come to it?
Well, for one thing, they have a good time because there's, I mean, you know, sometimes, I mean, even for me, I see people that I haven't seen maybe since the year before. And so it's a way of getting together with your friends and at the same time, generating some funds for those that aren't as fortunate. There's always music and a lot of activities, so it'd be very, very busy, you know, looking at all the items for the auction and the silent auction, and then entertaining, and so it's always a good.
Yeah. So if you've never been, you're not going to feel alone or.
Right.
You'll just be one of the crowd
Yes,
because there's
yes.
so many people that
Yes,
come.
and so many different activities for whatever you want to do.
Right. So let's go back to your job. How did you know? I know you said Barney said, "Would you take it on?" Did you ever? I don't want to ask that way. I was going to say, did you ever regret? But did you ever find it hard to get enough cakes for what you needed? Did we ever run out of desserts? I think we have.
We haven't really run out, but sometimes at the end there's just a few little stragglers. You know, that's why I have to call them stragglers, because I don't know, maybe we had too many of a certain kind of cookie or something. I know one year some company donated, I don't know, 500 cookies or something.
Wow.
And it was like we had a few of those left at the end. But when the cakes, especially the cakes, when they're gone, they're gone. And we tell people when they come in, if you see something and you want it, you better go ahead and get it now because it won't be here later. And a lot of them have really learned that.
Yeah. And what is your specialty that
The
you bring?
pineapple upside down cakes. This year I'll bake 12, and the most I baked was 11, and they're sold out within an hour or so. So I have my regular customers. I know 6 of them are already sold.
Pineapple upside down cake.
Yes.
You know, you just don't see that very much anymore.
You don't?
Yeah. So I know that's a bestseller. And others bring great cakes.
Yes.
Give us a variety of different kinds.
Everything, strawberry cakes, the coconut cakes, carrot cakes. We've even had gluten-free cakes, sugar-free cakes.
Oh.
Chocolate is always, of course, a big seller. Banana cakes. I mean, all different just
kind of sweet things.
and then the pies. I made a chocolate pecan pie one year, and I remember this guy coming up, and he was like, "Man, I need to take this thing home. I'm going to heat it up and put ice cream on top of it."
Oh,
and it's like, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so good!"
Yes.
Because I had never put ice cream on it before, but I guess it was good because he came the next year looking for one, and I hadn't made one, so.
So I know that you often have banana pudding there. It
Yes.
has never been there when I go up to get a bowl.
So it's already sold
it's
out.
sold out. I know. That's an example of something. If you want it, you better get
That's
it early.
right. That's right.
Wow. And how much money does a dessert table bring?
Well, we have, my team has a goal every year of $2,000, but one year we made $2,600. So we've always made our goal.
Yeah.
Last year, I think we did $3,500.
You did, yes, yes. It was a
So that
great
was
year.
exciting.
Oh, absolutely. That's a
So,
huge amount.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about cakes that people donate.
Yes.
And then
yes.
turn around and come up and buy.
Yes.
I
yes.
mean, just for the
Yes.
cause. That always amazed me. I thought, you brought that cake. Now you're buying a slice of it. And
Yes. Yes.
that's the generosity of our community.
Yes, and it's exciting too to see. I know we don't keep the cash behind the tables very often, or when it gets a little bit high, we turn it in, and they leave us receipts. So I try to go through the receipts and look. Oh, have we made our goal yet on the cash? And then the credit cards, everything on top of that is just like gravy,
Right, right. Oh, you have it is a great part of the shrimp bowl. I think people really look forward to it.
And then the girls that have volunteered with me since the beginning, they're excited as I am to make. Oh, we're at $2,000. Okay, everything else is just like fluff on top.
Oh, right, right. So tell me what are cake pops? I've heard you talk about those.
Cake pops. They're actually little round balls of cakes, and they're on sticks. And last year was really the first time my friend Karen had made some, and they sold out quickly.
Yeah.
So
because we have adults, children. Of course, everybody likes desserts, but
Yes, yes.
still, there's something there for everyone.
now last year was the first time I did Rice Krispie treats.
Oh,
I put them on a stick. I dipped them in chocolate, different colors of the chocolate, and put little sprinkles on them and put them on sticks. And they went over very well, too. So they're going to be back this year, too.
so you have regular volunteers that help you, and you
Yes.
have regular cake makers that help
Yes.
you, or bread makers
That are
like
both-
Helen and her
yes,
breads.
Yes.
But you could always use more.
Oh, yes. Yes, we can always use more desserts, and we can always use more volunteers.
Do they have to let you know they're bringing a dessert?
No.
How does that work? They could just bring it the
They
day
can just
of?
bring it. Yes, they can bring it the day of. Some people actually don't bring theirs until maybe an hour after it started because for some reason or another they can't get there right at 4 o'clock when it starts. So they'll come a little bit later. And so we have new supplies coming in, but most of them get there before.
So this year we're doing the 80s theme, back to the 80s. So who are you going to come as, or what are you going to wear?
I don't know.
I don't either. I keep saying, what is the 80s? But lots and lots of people have ideas about what they're going to be wearing and how they're going to
Really?
help us celebrate. The Rose was born in the 80s. And so with it being our 35th annual shrimp boil, I mean, we needed some other theme for this
Okay.
year. Yeah, it'll be fun. I wonder what we could do at the dessert table that would work with that.
I don't know. I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah. Well, you've got almost a month, but barely. The shrimp bowl is on June 22nd
Yes.
at the Pasadena Convention Center. Starts at 4 o'clock, ends at 8. Lots for everybody to do.
Yes.
So what is your favorite memory of the shrimp bowl? And I know you don't get out from behind that table very
don't.
much.
I don't. Because actually, a couple of the volunteers and we don't move from that table. But we can see the auction items sometimes if we don't have too many customers at the time.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most exciting times was when I forgot her name, the quilt.
Ella's quilt.
Yes, Ella. Her quilt went for like $10,000.
Yes,
That was
yes.
very, very exciting.
I think that is everyone's favorite memory. It was just like a stunner all
Yes.
around the room. Everybody got quiet. They were listening to
Yes,
the bids
yes.
go up and up and up. It was so
Very exciting.
wonderful. Yes. So here you are, a 2-time breast cancer survivor, doing all of this volunteering year after year. And what is it that you would say to women if they're debating on having a mammogram?
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Because the longer you wait, the worse it's not going away, and the worse it will be. And so you just need to go ahead and get it done, and then you can have peace of mind knowing that, okay, if everything's fine, then you're good.
And especially if you're going for your annuals, because
Yes.
those are the ones you won't even know that are there.
Right.
Right. So annual mammograms are a must.
Yes.
And if women are uninsured, they need to call us and let us know, see how we can help them.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was trying to add up how many years you've been doing this. You've done it more years than probably many other things in your life.
Yes.
But how long does it take you to make 12 cakes?
Well, the pineapple upside down cakes, I do all in one day on Friday
Oh,
because I don't freeze them. I don't think I could freeze them, but I don't want to freeze them.
no.
When I've
no.
done the 20 cakes, I did freeze some of them
Right.
and then take them out on Friday and icing them and get them ready.
Yeah.
But yeah. But then if I do cookies, I can do them ahead because cookies can be frozen too.
Yes.
And the cupcakes I do Friday also.
So you have a very busy week right before the shrimp boil.
I do.
Yes. Well, we appreciate all of the things that you do for the shrimp boil, running the table, providing half of the meal, the half of the cakes, and rounding up your volunteers. And so, once again, we always need more cakes and always need more volunteers.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon, for being with us today
Thank
and
you.
helping us to promote this event. It's a special one.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Uh-huh.